Okay, yesterday I find myself cutting this piece out here on my plasma table. I got the Cutmaster 52 here, and I noticed a problem with my air pressure. How it has the lights on it for your air pressure. Normally when I cut, it'll drop down to 4 lights, 5 lights, 80, 85. But I noticed it started dropping down to 75 and 70, and it even went down to 65. I know you're supposed to have a good air supply and clean air and all that. I've been doing this a while. I got a decent compressor. I got plenty of air. I got a refrigerated air dryer into another tank, which is the reserve tank for the refrigerated air. Then it goes to a M30 filter, and then it goes down into the plasma. So I know I got plenty of air pressure, and I've gone online and I've tried to research this plasma with any issues, and you get people replying with answers that have absolutely not a clue of what the hell they're talking about. They probably don't even own a plasma cutter with some of the answers that they come up with. To me, that irritates the hell out of me when somebody's having an issue and you try to go online and research it because you want to find answers. Because you know, if you get on the phone with technical support with thermodynamics, you're going to be on the phone, you're going to get a runaround, or you got to take your machine in to a repair center, which it can be something minor and stupid that can be fixed. One guy I know, he kept getting an error when he plugged his torch in, and it kept showing the error that the torch wasn't plugged in. And there's comments, oh, you don't know how to plug it in, clean your terminals and all that. Well, I was given this plasma cutter and I run into the same exact issue. It's got a twist lock connector on it. I mean, it's self-explanatory. It only plugs in one way. It only plugs in one way. It's got a flat spot on the bottom. You know, the connections are there. You know, it only plugs in one way. You can't screw it up. You can't plug it in any other way but the intended way for it to plug in. And I also went through that same issue where I was getting an error. I guess from it sitting for a while, it didn't have any corrosion on it because it's a brand new machine. It maybe had 4 hours of use on it, and that was it, but it sat for a year or so. But them connections are loose, and I ended up having to wiggle it up and down and back and forth, and it finally worked. And occasionally I go through that issue, and I usually just take something like this and I just tap on the handle and it comes back on. Here recently, or yesterday, when I cut this piece here, I got 3/4 of the way through it and it shut off because it gave me a air fault. And as you can see from my table, I get plenty of use. I got plenty of cutting done on my table. Those are my slats, and I've cut all kinds of stuff. I cut stuff for my shop here. I cut art stuff also. So I use this machine a lot. Some of the comments, that irritates the crap out of me, where, you know, if you don't know what the hell you're talking about, if you don't own the machine, if you've never run into those issues, you know, don't even bother commenting, you know, because you aggravate people with that crap. I also noticed with the air pressure going down so low all of a sudden, a simple fix. There's a little O-ring in there. and it got bad, and it just disappeared. It disintegrated. And go online, you try to find answers for a simple fix as that, and you can't even get an answer. There's the fault for it not being plugged in all the way. It's not reading correctly. And of course I have a trouble plugging mine back in, but I got it plugged back in. Now I have all my lights are on, and I found 2 O-rings that were caught inside of it. That's why I had a hard time plugging it in. So they must have been replaced at one time that I didn't know about. But now when I turn my air on, my lights stay the same. I got max air pressure, and it can run and run and run, and I still show max air pressure instead of it dropping down to 80, 85, even 75 when I was cutting. All because of the O-ring that's inside of here. And what I did is I just bought one of these O-ring kits, and one of these smaller O-rings up here fits on that plug for that plasma torch. I've been inside this thing. I take care of it. I got a torch height controller hooked up to it. I use it for my, I still have the hand torch on it. And as you can see, it's been running this whole time, and it hasn't dropped down. So if you have an issue with getting an error because it's not plugged in, just tap on this. Just get something that's hard and just tap on it. Make sure it's seated all the way, and it'll get connection. Or if you can't never get connection, then there's something wrong with the machine. But I had the same issue that other people have, and that's exactly what that was. And if you have an air pressure issue where it drops down, change the O-ring, and that'll take care of that.